Welcome back guys. Until the last episode we have done up to the basis of the dimmers. So from this episode we will gonna continue from that. Even this video will cover the body modeling using basic parts. If you are used to it, you can just fast forward the video by using the speed up feature of YouTube. Adding a few more details. Again, we will use dome, which we get from insert, then feature, and then dome. Be aware whatever we make so that it looks actual, real to the part. And now I'm going to mirror these both. Now I am going to make the ladder. I will be making here the long hood side ladder only. The short hood side ladder will be covered in the cabin assembly. Some rough dimension that I have given here. Yeah, and make sure that you extrude it by keeping offset from the sketch surface. It's here, this is sketch plane and this is offset, so that it would remain a step behind from the main surface. Its advantage is that you don't need to cut off extra surface for separating out the boundary. Now let's make the sandbox, which in real locomotive contains sand, which can be used in case of wheel slips. I have cutted this surface so that the ladder makes an uniform cross section. Adding a few more details to the sandbox. Just follow my steps. Yeah, it might look boring that it is consuming so many episodes to model the body, but it took me the same time to make it, or maybe more, combining all the episodes. So to reduce the number of episodes, I have kept the length of this episode more by keeping it for 30 minutes. Again using the up to surface extrude. We will finish up the body modeling in the next episode, and then we will be moving to another parts like cabin, buffer, etc. Now like this I am going to cut the extra part. So for this I have converted the back visible part by using convert entities, and then I should cut it up to next. So now I have to mirror these recently made feature on the other side. Here we can change the preview. Now let's make a hole on the above surface of the sandbox so that to accommodate the handrail. Keep the diameter of hole equal to what you are going to keep the diameter of handrail, so that it will fit inside the hole. So I need to give some rough dimensions. Like this is 35, this is 130, and this will be 147.5, just a rough dimension. Similarly on the other side as well, because our handle will come on both sides. If you are following my steps, just copy my dimensions so that nothing goes wrong. Now I will be making the short hood side exhaust. For that, first I am making a boundary. It's just a thin extrude of a rectangle, so that I don't need to make two separate rectangles for that. Just draw one rectangle and select thin feature like we have discussed it in the previous episodes. For making this sketch, I have used linear sketch pattern. Like I have patterned this triangular section for 17 times, 1717. For here, since there are many close boundaries, you have to select counters during extruding. Now just select up to surface extrude. Just rotate the view, go down and select the down surface where we want it. So it looks like the exhaust grill. Similarly on the other side as well. I have just changed the dimension, a different set of dimensions here, but the method remains the same, like up to surface extrude by selecting the counters of the linear sketch pattern. Now let's make the slots where the handrail supports will fit in their defined positions. So we are making a square of 90 by 90. So I will be making those many times since we will need for many handle supports. It depends on you how many counters you are gonna make it. There are many ways to repeat those slots, like here I have used linear sketch pattern. If you want, you can mirror them, you can create one after the other, depends on you. But make sure that you make adequate slots that all the handle supports may accommodate. Also, we will need to make it on the front surface as well. For this slant surface, I have made the slot on one surface and then I have mirrored it on the other side. If you click on any of the line, you can see pattern predation because I have patterned these entities. I am making it here too, since we would require so many. I will be speeding up some part of video because it's the repetitive making of all the features that I have made earlier. So now I will be giving fillets to these corners on the both sides. Now I have made this feature by observing on the locomotive, like this one. I don't actually know what it is technically called, but so we have to make it so that our locomotive looks real. We are taking some assumed dimensions here. So here we have to select the counters because there are many closed boundaries. Similar to the Sandbox, I have converted the back surface and extruded it on the other side. I could have extruded the whole surface, but we don't want the whole body, just the upper body. Now I have mirrored both these recently made features. Here these both. Now I am making a bottleneck kind of feature. Again some assumed dimensions, and extruding it again by assumed dimension since it should look visually equal to our model. Now the neck cap like feature, bottleneck cap like feature. So I have mirrored these both bottleneck and the neck cap because we will need it on the other side too. Now I will be making this feature to cover up the underbody. Notice that here I have used 2 directional extrude by clicking the direction 2 checkbox, so that the boundaries remain separate. You will understand how I decide what to do and where to do once you practice SolidWorks more and more on real life things. Now we will be moving towards these cylindrical tanks. I have drawn this circle on one of the surface made by these slots. For here on this surface. Again some assumed dimension given here. The 110 is from here, this edge. Again, since we required in both direction, I have used the direction 2 extrude. Just notice the depth. And now I am going to add fillets to these cylinders. Instead of selecting both the plane edges, this time we will be going to select the cylindrical surface. Now we will merge this cylindrical tank since it is floating in the air. So on the lower surface of the locomotive body, I just drew a rectangle which falls under the tank, and I have extruded up to next, which will extrude it up to the tank. Now I'm gonna repeat these all three features for the next tank as well, next cylinder as well. Now I have used a sweep boss here, which requires a 2D sketch profile and a 3D sketch path. I am going to demonstrate you how to make it. This is the 2D sketch. And after that I entered 3D sketch and I made this. Let me show you how to draw it. Just select line, hover over that circle and you will get the center point of it, and then you have option to extend that line in any of the axis you want. All you have to do is just press the tab key to change the axis. Every time you click somewhere, you have the option to change the axis. Here in 3D sketch, for giving fillets, we have to select the corners, not the lines. And after that I will go to the sweep boss, where in the profile section I will select the 2D sketch, and in the path section I will select that 3D sketch. So it is done now. Now I will be making these two extrude for future reference, since I will need it for upcoming features. Now here I will be going to give random dimension, not assume, these are random, since these will not be seen on the macro level when you show the model. Here I have used the up to surface extrude by assigning this surface as the limit. So on the two extrudes I have made this plate so that the underbody work can be done on this feature. So here I have changed the direction of extrude for some reason, so it got extruded inside. So now I will be making this kind of features. I have drawn these rectangular kind of sketch on one surface and extruded it up to the other surface. Just notice the surfaces. We have many other options to do the same. So I get this detail when I observe the locomotive carefully. Other relations get automatically added. So I have cutted by using up to surface cut by giving this surface as limit. Now I have added some details over here. Again, bottleneck kind of feature. Now I will mirroring these recently made three feature, the extrude, the cut and the another extrude, because we will need it on other side too. Now I will repeating this procedure for making another similar kind of features. Like I said you, there are many ways to prepare same kind of feature. You can use many methods. It is dependent on you. I will be now speeding up the video because to avoid these same feature, we will not be using pattern here because they are not in the same pattern. So we will be making it again and again wherever required. Yes, you can surely use mirror, and also you can use pattern wherever there are just 1 or 2 repetitions are required. I have speeded up much part of this video to save the time. Now I will be making this rod kind of features. I have drawn an assume sketch on one surface and extruded it up to next. These features will add more details to our model. Here I can use up to next. Forgot to mention that it is the long hood side. Notice how here I have used the up to next command, since it would not interfere the middle feature. Similarly, I have done this. These are some random or assumed dimension what I have gave. And here I have used up to surface extrude because we can't use here up to next. So select up to surface and give this surface as limit. Just repeating that procedure. All you have to do is just observe the real locomotive neatly, so you will get an idea what to make here. Now I am making slots for the buffer by using extrude cut. Just make sure the dimension that you give to the slot should be equal to the dimension of the base of the buffer. Like here I have given 250 by 250 mm. Also we will be doing it on the other side because this cow catcher won't be covered in the cabin modeling. Now this is what I have made for the coupler of the locomotive. Again, this is simple boss extrude of an assumed sketch with visually similar dimensions. Instead of wasting time in trimming out the unwanted entities, we just select all the closed boundaries in the counter section to save time. This is just a triangle that is made on the side surface, and I have used extrude cut here by giving up to next constraint. Don't use through all here. Now making this slot by using cut extrude. And since our model is not symmetric over its length, we can't use mirror here presently, so we will be making it again. So I am going to speed it up. So now I am going to add these few details over here. These are just two extrude bosses and I have given blind constraint. To make this kind of curvy cut, you have to make the sketch by adding some tangential relations. I'll show you how to make that. You have to control select both the lines and select the tangent relation from the left, so that those both lines would remain tangent to one another. And then cut it up to this surface. Another detailing part. By looking here, you should now understand what I have made here. The dimension and the extrusion length, that is 60. The circle over that extrude. This circle is just made by taking the center point as the midpoint of two edges and keeping the circle tangent to all the boundary edges. Now this is another sweep boss. Again, it requires 2D profile and 3D path. This is the 2D sketch. Now we will be preparing the path by using 3D sketch. This one is the one which I have already made, but I am going to demonstrate you how to make that. Spot the center point of the 2D sketch circle and drag that line up to certain distance. Now change the axis by pressing tab key. So now you can extend a line in any plane you want. Sometimes changing the viewing angle can also change the axis, though it doesn't work for all time. To save the time, I am using my old reference points to draw, but you will require to assume your own. So now I am keeping the end point random floating somewhere. To get that point on plane, you have to control select that point and the plane and add the relation on plane. Now select the line and add the relation of along x so that it remains parallel to the x axis. So now for filleting, we have to select the edges. Like I said you earlier, we can't select the two lines in 3D sketch, we have to select the edges. These are a few dimensions that I have given to make the sketch fully defined. You can observe them. Do leave your feedback in the comments if you don't understand anything. So now just select the sweep boss, the 2D sketch circle as profile and the 3D sketch circle as the path. The sweep boss feature sweeps the profile along the path you made. I repeat, it sweeps the profile along the path that you made. So we will stop here for this episode. In the next episode we will continue the body modeling, after which we will move on to other parts modeling of the assembly. Till then, stay tuned, subscribe to my channel and do like the video if you enjoyed watching it. Thank you.